This is Justin the Highlight Gaethje. You're about to get KO'd by a knockout.
Breeze AC broadcast facility, hour number one, coming to an end.
Yeah,
hour number
quick.
one.
That was fast.
NBA Finals start tomorrow.
Man.
Stanley Cup this weekend.
Really? How do you even know this?
Because I just told you.
I don't see it. I don't see it on my feed. I don't watch TV anymore. I'm not really. I don't go to like local channels. I don't watch TV. Like, how do you get this information?
Common sense.
Because the algorithms aren't set up that way. I don't search for basketball updates or like baseball, basketball. So I don't get any of those kind of feeds, except I just got one for Baker Mayfield since you talked about him earlier. Thanks.
Yeah, but so how did that
be watched?
Well, you already believe that. So,
Jeez.
But you are, because we put cameras in here.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had people in here, and they're scrumming around the AC facility. They're looking for units.
Who's playing in the NBA Finals?
That would be your Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh.
Can you see the Dallas Mavericks, if they win this, and Mark Cuban going absolutely bonkers like he did in Miami?
Do you think he still has that passion?
Oh, absolutely.
He's still that passionate about the team?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know in the beginning it was over the top. Right? He was like over the top.
Oh, he was out there shooting. He was out there, the whole thing, stay at my... Mark Cuban is a fanatic and obviously a great businessman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, he sold Porsche, and he's now like the CEO president, so he's still involved. I know who I'm rooting for, and that should say something for you, Matt, and you, Steve.
You have a fan?
It's not that I'm rooting for, I'm rooting against.
Okay. What are you rooting against?
The Boston Celtics.
Why would you not want Boston to win?
Where was I born?
Boston.
What?
Philly.
Exactly.
Oh, there's a Philly-Boston rivalry now?
Well, yeah, but
get out of here.
Back in the day.
That wasn't a rivalry, was it? The 76ers and
the Celtics and the Lakers?
Was it?
Dr. J?
I thought it was the Lakers and the Celtics.
It was the Lakers and the Celtics. And Julius Erving when he got in the fist fight with Larry Bird.
Yeah.
My man stepped up and said, "Bird, you ain't nothing to me." I mean, little fisticuffs. So, yeah, I can't root for the Celtics.
Okay.
I liked Bird. I liked that team. But if I had to root, and I'm not rooting for, I'm rooting against, and that would be the Boston Celtics. Now, in your Stanley Cup final, you have the Edmonton Oilers with McJesus taking on the Panthers.
Okay.
They are called the Panthers, right?
I think so. They're from Carolina or Florida?
Well, it's funny because, my brother and my sister who's in Carolina, so it's the Carolina Panthers there, they were rooting for the Panthers or Marlins or Johnsons or whatever they are. And, as Lightning, and I'm not necessarily, I try not to be a fan of anything,
right?
To continue what I'm doing. But living in the Tampa Bay area, I'm going to agree with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Panthers.
Really?
So, the Panthers, Lightning don't like each other. And, so again, I'm not rooting for Edmonton.
Okay.
I think I'm just rooting against them down south.
Okay.
I think this is the 5th year or something that a Florida team's been in the finals.
Now, are you going to watch any of these finals? Are you going to actually tune in? Like, have you set this in your agenda or your timeline or mental space?
I will not watch start to finish.
Okay. Highlights or all portions?
Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there.
How long can you last? A quarter before you lose interest?
Less. Let's talk about basketball, but let's talk a little WNBA.
Oh, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Where do you stand on what's going on?
I don't really know a lot, except I saw she got a flagrant foul. Somebody
called against her.
Pushed into her. I thought somebody knocked her to the ground.
They did. Yeah.
Deliberately.
Right.
So they show intimidation. They're trying to bully and trying to welcome her to the league, with tough love, the way that they have done in other leagues and sports.
I'm going to throw out a third version.
Okay.
So some people have Caitlin Clark's side. Some are having the WNBA side. It's like that's the rookie, you go through it. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this happened. I don't want to be sued. I don't want any of that stuff. But isn't it ironic that nobody has ever talked about the WNBA before?
Oh, yeah. No, but it's a non-factor.
I wonder if it's kind of WNBA, let's, Now, they did upgrade that to a flagrant, which it wasn't called
that. The kicker in is going to be when she gets exposed for being a heel. When she's got this good girl, wholesome Midwest Iowa background, and then she turns out to be a heel down the line, you're gonna be like, oh, what?
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
You see?
Everything through college, everything she did, all this. Yeah,
I think she's like, I think
waiting for it.
I think you're gonna see a different Caitlin Clark in a couple of years, and people are like, I never saw that coming. Like when Hogan
did.
When Hogan flipped the NWO.
It's the greatest thing in the history of wrestling.
In the history of sport.
No, I don't know about sport.
I mean, that's a legend.
Because that's not a sport.
He's a legend in two different images.
That's not a sport.
Two characters became legendary. You know how hard that is? Like, that's how good Hogan was. He became a legend in two sports. What are we doing over here? Headset changes?
What's the two sports? First of all, he's not a legend in any sport.
Well, in wrestling,
it's not a sport.
It's a sport.
It is not a sport.
I mean, if breakdancing is an Olympic sport, did you see that breakdancing is now an Olympic sport?
Okay, don't change the subject.
But if breakdancing is an Olympic sport, then scripted wrestling is absolutely a sport.
No, it's entertainment.
It's absolutely a sport.
Ask the former owner, Vince McMahon.
The athleticism. Well, that's because illegal. He had to zone it that way.
Cry me a river.
No, but that's a legal technicality to stay out of trouble.
It's not a sport. It's not a sport.
That's not the same thing.
It's not a sport. A sport is a competition.
If they registered it as a sport, wrestling is a sport in high school, college, collegiate,
right?
Pro.
Wrestling, high school wrestling, college wrestling.
There's sports.
This is entertainment.
Because of the
so
legality.
Hulk Hogan is not a legend in a sport.
Wasn't it legalized that way because of steroid allegations and the usage?
Yeah.
They had to register it as entertainment because of a sport. Right. It wouldn't have qualified for
but it's not a sport. It's athleticism. I'm not arguing that.
Technicality. Put an asterisk next to it.
So wrestling and Barry Bonds are both going to have the asterisk.
I mean, shouldn't they?
I don't,
you don't think Barry deserves an asterisk next to his record?
Why?
It's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. Most home runs.
Is he?
I mean, most home runs. And it made me want to get a kayak and sit out in the bay and hope I get a home run bomb over the wall.
It was fun watching those kayaks and diving out of the kayaks, or when who's the lunatic from 2.5 Men? I can't think of his name.
Sean
Harper. No, that's his show name.
Dang it.
I can't think of what Harper's name is.
What are you talking about, though?
Estevez. That's
the brother.
Right, but that's their real last name is Estevez. I can't think of his name.
The Tiger Blood dude. He's
right. He bought all the seats at one game in left field.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming in?
No, not Cryer, the other one, the Star. Because that way it guaranteed him to get the ball. If it was, he owned all of those seats.
For the record,
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. That's a brilliant move.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
That's a brilliant strategy. But only if the ball's worth money. Like, what's it worth? It's only worth what it's worth in the open market, right?
Of course.
That's why I brought my baseball cards for memorabilia. It's like, I don't know if it has any value. It's only in the value of the person who it has value to if they're willing to pay for it.
No, for sure.
Who dictates the value?
Your buyer.
Yeah, but how? Like, is it fan perception? Is it rarity?
All of that.
Is it who the player was?
We will talk about the cards that you brought and cards in general in the third hour with Ryan Wessner from Rhino Cards. Right now, 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. We'll be right back. This is Knockout Radio.